Okay, I figured I might as well start the camera because knowing me, I'll get this done and then I'll be like, oh shoot, I should have made a how-to video. And it'll be like, well dude, it's kind of hard to explain it after it's already done, whereas it'd be better if you document it while you're doing it. So I know what's on your mind. How to what? This is a Walkera gimbal, and it's normally for the action cam, you know, GoPro style camera. But I want to make it for a MOBIUS. Um, there's already ways to do a MOBIUS camera for your Walkera gimbal. I think the homie CB Docky has a tutorial on it, and there's actually a website where you can buy a kit that lets you open up your MOBIUS and take the guts out and put the guts in a new case that has the dimensions of a GoPro. So you actually, it's like a do-it-yourself MoPro. Anyway, I never used a gimbal in my life, but I really, really do dig the attributes of the whole rolling thing. So, and this MOBIUS does not work, but I'm just using this for fitment issues because all I really have is a run cam. Okay, anyway, the program that was already in progress was making your Walkera gimbal accommodate a MOBIUS using camera case for a Bugs 3. First thing you do is take a screwdriver and take off this piece here, you know, that goes on the Bugs 3 camera holder. And I'm going to stop the tape now. And, well, no, I'm not going to stop the tape. This is my favorite kind of foam padding. I use this kind of padding a lot for different camera mounts and whatever because it absorbs vibration and seems to deaden it, but it takes pretty good to some of the glues, whereas other color paddings don't seem to work. They even get like weathered and dry and cracking like really too soon. Anyway, this is the actual padding that comes in the packaging of the Walkera gimbal. So what I'm doing is cut a thin piece of padding, a few 16ths of an inch in depth, and kind of make an inside sleeve this way. Okay? You see where I'm going with this? And you want it to be thicker. You want it to be about as thick as the actual edge right here. Okay? Then we're going to cut this other padding here. Excuse my mess. It's a thinner padding. We're going to cut the thinner layer padding on this part here. And what's going to happen is this is going to serve as the casing for the MOBIUS. Okay, it'll fit in like that, and this kind of closes that way. You see where I'm going with this? And then the mounting of the Walkera will be here, and then we drill a hole here. Anyway, maybe I'll start the tape again after I make more progress, because I've never made shit and documented it at the same time. Well, other than when I was a kid and I, you know, went go potty for moms and I was really proud of it. Anyway, okay. Okay, it's very crude, very not pretty, but you get the rough idea. You cut the side piece off the old Bugs 3 camera case. You put a large enough hole, peephole, for the MOBIUS to line up. And basically the case is going to have the MOBIUS sitting in there straight. You cut these pieces off, but then you... Excuse me. You realign that so it closes like that. See, this piece serves as a foamed filler for that side, and this piece serves as a thinner layer of foam from this side. And then the pressure of the thing actually being closed, which will just be a rubber band going around here, will keep the MOBIUS closed and in its case. And this part right here will be the bracket mount and the screws that would normally hold the GoPro case. So this is the GoPro case. We're just changing the shape of the case. And it'll be in there like that, and hopefully it'll do all the other stuff. The sensor will be glued to the back of this in the same angle as it was on the other one, and hopefully the balancing and all that stuff will be good. So there you go. Yeah. Right. Hey YouTube. Okay. He says smooth down one end, like I said, and you make a hole for the lens, viewfinder, whatever. Got a little piece of styrene and went along the inside of the wall of the case and glued the styrene to the inside. That'll help you later on in terms of reinforcing this plastic. Is kind of thin because screws are going to be going through here, actually mounting this onto the bracket. So put a little piece of styrene there to reinforce it. Then I put thin padding here for the sleeve and thicker padding here. When it's closed, it kind of looks kind of like that. Alright, and that's the MOBIUS case. I got rid of the whole buckle thing, period. I'm just going to have a rubber band going around it. But screws will be going here. And what it'll be doing is this piece will be replaced with this piece. And when I turn it on, hopefully it should balance itself out and do its thing. As long as I don't disrupt the sensor by putting it any other way, it'll be the same way but on the back of here. And I'm hoping that the sensor picks this up as if it was the regular case. Similar to what CB said, you get a small Allen wrench and take out these two screws right here, and that'll get this off. But then I have to get the wire off and get the sensor off. But these two screws are going to be the two screws where the mount goes. And it'll be like this. Okay? And that'll hang that way. Alright. I don't know if you see this. This is kind of what you get. Alright. So now I can pull this off and remove it, pull it up out. Okay, I cut the wall that was holding the sensor module in place. And I was able to get the wire through there, but still leaving enough of this back to where I could probably use an action cam should I want to at a later date. Still leaving the holes there for the threaded part. Put a slice right through here. Don't remove it because I may want to use it later, but you put a slice through it, and that slice will allow you to get this wire out. You know what I mean. Come on. Come on up. Okay. Now the wire out, module's completely free. Yeah, the module's completely free of this action cam cage. So now we're ready to mount the MOBIUS cam cage. Right there. Now in terms of mounting the MOBIUS cage onto the Walkera, this is kind of the fit or the alignment that I'm shooting for. There's a large range of different places to put this, but something tells me I want it lined up right about where it is now. If it was painted white, it would almost look like it was made that way. Anyway, which one left?
Because 15 years ago, we dated her behind.
I think I messed up the previous file. Anyway, I haven't drilled the holes yet to run the screws to the MOBIUS case, but this is kind of the alignment or fitment that I'm shooting for. Okay, it looks like it'll swivel. I don't know anything about the weights and the calibrations and all that. I'm just hoping when I plug it in, if the sensor's right, it'll do its thing. This bracket here, you know, it could be anywhere. I could have put it closer to the edge. I could have put it closer to the middle, but something tells me right about here is going to be where I want to try to mount this thing. If I get it to come out just like that, I think I'll be able to. Okay, the screws that come out of the stock GoPro cage on the Walkera gimbal, these screws right here, they're Allen head screws. They're a little short, and it is a little difficult lining the holes up because I'm terrible at math, I'm terrible at measuring, and I'm just bad at lining holes up evenly sometimes. And then the fact that this thing is threaded on this end and not threaded on the inside, it's a little difficult. I thought I was going to have to abort it and wait till I could find longer screws, but I managed to get it threaded in the top hole, make a second hole, and then I put a little glue in it to sort of give it like a Loctite effect. It's pretty much done. Now normally the sensor would go, you know, upright in the back, something like that. That looks nice and neat, but this won't work here because in the scheme of things, in the whole pivot and everything, this this sensor would actually hit. You see what I'm saying? So we make another piece, a funny looking bracket similar to this, and what's going to happen is the sensor will be glued onto this other metal, this bracket metal, styrene bracket. This bracket will be glued to the back of the camera case like that. You see what I'm saying? So the sensor actually sits here. So it still should work as a sensor. And then if I want to interchange the camera or work on the MOBIUS, pull out the memory card, I just take off the rubber band and open it up. Okay, it still should open like this. And then we have the sensor here and still pivot. Okay? There you go. And watch this tape not come out anyway. Okay, she's pretty much done. I have to wait for the glue to dry on the initial mount, even though it's right here, the right here. Oh, I hate this fucking thing. The mount is screwed into the camera case with the little Allen hex head screws. It's not very thick. It's not very good, so I put glue on it anyway. So I'd like to let it dry. Plus, there's no way to use this because this is going on a XK351 with tall landing gear, and that quad hasn't come in the mail yet, and it's also going to be used on the JYU Hornet, which is, the body just came for that yesterday, so I won't be putting that back together for a couple days. And if it works, we'll put some longer landing gear on it, and that'll be my camera bird. But here it is. This is the Walkera gimbal with a MOBIUS cage. Okay, it slides in here. You know, it's not rocket science. It slides in here. Closes up like that. Okay. Put a rubber band around it. There's the sensor there. Now, I could mold the bracket for the sensor a little bit differently if I were to use this gimbal with the power controller to where, you know, you could move the camera around with the controller. If that were the case, I would move this module, because when the camera goes down, you see it hits the module. That's why I put the module here anyway, to get it out the way of everything else. But if I just use this as a manual gimbal, you know, without controlling it myself, just let it kind of float around, this module right here should be okay, if it works at all. But basically, that's the theory. Here's my Walkera gimbal with a MOBIUS camera cage made out of a man, I should just plug it in now, huh? Put it on the battery and plug it. Made out of a Bugs 3 GoPro camera mount. I'm pretty proud of this, man. If this works, I'm pretty stoked. Alright. Maybe later I'll plug in a battery and see if this thing levels. I'm kind of scared. I'm going to let the glue dry, then I'll try it. I'll do it tomorrow. Good night. Oh, here's the, here's the, Walkera gimbal with the MOBIUS on it. The lens cap on the end is was just real quick to give you an idea that you can kind of cosmetically dress it up a little. It's just dummy lens. It's take it off the end of a K-dang, the big yellow bumblebee, the sky warrior, whatever. Yeah, you can just screw the top part. It actually has a little threaded lens on it too, with writing that looks really cool, but I'm sure the optics would be kind of really not so great coming out of the seated lens in the back of a MOBIUS or a run cam. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and plug in a battery and hold it up in the air, and hopefully it does its whole calibration self-level thing without me doing anything. I won't point to the clock to show you what time it is. But here it is. I'm going to go for a flight, but yeah, that's kind of the idea, man. I'm pretty proud of that. I figured out a better way to put the sensor where if I do hook it up to a controller that actually controls the movement of the gimbal from a controller, this sensor will be out of the way and it won't block it from going up and down. Because right now, it'll block it if it tries to, you know, pan down. But good times. I'm pretty proud of that. Alright. Man.